Tim Petrowich here for Dateline Marion, and we're talking with Marion head football coach Kerry Martin, and it's a good feeling to be able to talk to you after a Wildcat win, 23-20 over Cahokia last week. And although I'm sure you found some things you can still do some coaching on, a step in the right direction for the Wildcats last week.
It definitely was a step in the right direction, and we've been pretty good at times, but we've not been consistent. We had a little more consistency in the second half of our Cahokia game, and that's what we've been looking for, just for the kids to fight a little bit and to dig down a little bit deeper and put some plays together and put some drives together. And I thought our defense continued to be opportunistic and make some big plays for us at crucial times. And all the special teams had a great day. David Fletcher's punting and some of his kickoffs, he was really strong on his entire kicking game. So we feel good about it, and certainly look forward to trying to put a run together now.
And you did some things that you've done throughout the season. You had some big plays, namely the long kick return by Jaden Lacey for a touchdown. But one of the other things that you did, which is something that's been a concern for you, is you put a couple of drives together.
Yeah, we had to do that, and we just been having trouble mounting sustained drives. Had a really good drive against Haywood County, almost had 0 drives against Dunlap, even though we scored on a lot of big plays. And Galesburg, we didn't have any drives at all.
4 first downs.
4 first downs, you're not going to drive the ball very much. So it was good to put some drives together, especially in the second half, and we had to have drives, and especially at the end of the game to run the clock down and keep their offense off the field. And our time of possession was pretty good last week, and when you play a good offense, it's nice to be able to keep their offense off the field by holding on to that football.
I went back and looked, and they scored on 2 of their first 3 possessions. You traded punts early before the weather delay. Then they scored on their next 2 possessions, and you sandwiched the kick return in between. But on their last 9 possessions, I went back and looked, and there were 3 punts, an interception, 2 fumbles, 2 turnovers on down, and 1 touchdown. So they got in from like the middle of the third or the first quarter, or late in the first quarter on. The defense really shut the door.
They did. I've argued and talked about this a lot, that our defense is better than the points allowed because our offense has not helped our defense this year. And consequently, when the offense fails to drive the ball, you continue to turn the ball back over to the other team's offense.
Well, and you had that in that first quarter when they scored, and then you ran the kickback. So there was no offense, and the defense is right back on the field.
Yeah, it's true. And our defense is better right now than it has been, I think, in a while. And I think our offense has failed to help it out the way it should. And it felt good to help it out last week and put some drives together and increase our third down conversion percentage, which was very low against Galesburg, and to make it better. So, yeah, like you said, a lot of things to build on. Still, we're not nearly happy where we should be. I think we're doing better. We're showing some improvement, certainly.
Cahokia is a team that's very similar to Haywood in their athletic ability and their quickness and things like that. Probably not as big and maybe not as quite as skilled. Haywood's a pretty good program. But I think you were able to correct some things from the Haywood game that you were able to apply into the Cahokia game.
Yeah, I think so too. And I think the Haywood game is one of those weird situations where they played some scrimmages. They start practice earlier. I thought Haywood just looked like a team that was maybe a little bit ahead of us practice-wise and game preparation-wise. I think that helped us against Cahokia, where we started with an even playing field against Cahokia. But I definitely see our program, our team right now, this particular group, showing improvement, and I see individual players showing improvement. It's just a matter of putting some things together as 11 players at once.
There's going to be some plays in this game that, unless people get a chance to watch the film, they're not going to know that happened, but are big plays. A couple of pass breakups, one by Ben McLaughlin, one by DJ Trimble in the end zone.
Yeah.
And I think the play that stands out was a little screen pass to Jaden where he got undercut, landed on top of the defender, and if you watch it on film, clearly never goes to the ground, and he had the presence of mind to get back up and start running again.
He did. That's an interesting play, and it's a great lesson for everyone, about. And I appreciate the officiating, which didn't just assume that he's going to be down. He continued to stare at Jaden to see if his knee went down, and as Jaden fell onto the young man beneath him, his body never touched the ground, and he pops right up and keeps on going for a big gain.
Yeah, and he turned, I think, a 6 or 7 yard gain into about a 50-yard gain on that
He
play.
did. He did.
And it was fun to watch plays like that, and the kids respond by knowing, hey, the whistle didn't blow. Get
That's
up and
right.
run.
Yeah, and I think you mentioned DJ. I think DJ Trimble has really played well lately and had a really good ball game Friday night. He had more than one pass breakup and had a pick, and I mean and his tackling, and he's had a couple of fumble hits I think this year where he's the person coming in on a tackle and making a fumble.
I think he had one Friday night.
I think he did too. Yeah. So he's been very opportunistic as well, and I think that's something you look for on defense. They can make plays, get the ball turned back over to us, and so good defensive effort. Terrell Henderson continues to be a consistent performer for us as well on defense. So it's a pretty good night.
Well, and again, we've talked about this now 2 or 3 weeks in a row, but Xavier's been a madman on defense.
He has. Physical, covering a lot of ground, actually playing out of position right now. Not where he practiced all summer or all camp, but the fact that he's playing a new spot, and he's made a few technical mistakes of not being in the right spot, but he's able to make up for it with some really good closing speed.
Well, and he was in the right spot for the big play on Friday night when he made the hit on their quarterback. And if you've got Wayne Grant Jr. in your backfield, he's the one who you want to do something with the ball on a 4th and inches, and X hit him behind the line. Not only did he hit him, but he knocked the ball loose and forced a fumble, and they recovered the fumble, but not for first down yardage.
That's right. That was a huge play, and he had a big pick also, reaching up high above him, on the sideline, and just a lot of big plays from our defense, and a lot of tackles for loss this year. A lot of guys getting penetration behind the line, and let's talk about this quarterback from Cahokia who had an accurate arm. He was very mobile and can scramble and get yardage when you think you've got him bottled up. You go back and look at the film, and he did get away a couple of times, but there's a lot of times our kids stayed disciplined, kept those shoulders square, and worked him into a corner and allowed other guys to get there in time. They didn't just take a shot at him, and he was able to juke his way around. Several occasions our guys used their teammate at the sideline to hem him in.
Well, and not only that, but give credit to your coverage too, because after those first 2 drives where he did a really good job, he had to take time because he didn't have people to throw to.
And those guys can catch it. I mean, he's got an accurate arm, and he can throw it. They made some great catches against us, and they're a good offensive team. I mean, they've got some really talented kids, and they can make some plays, and to hold that team to 20 points is a pretty big deal.
You take a look at your early schedule now. Your first 4 teams you played are all 500 or better now. Haywood's 4-0, Galesburg 3-1, Cahokia and Dunlap are 2-2. Pretty tough schedule. The team you play this Friday may be one of the few teams in the conference that has a tougher schedule. Their opponents are combined 13-3 so far, the 4 they played. So you playing against Mount Vernon, and the scores are going to look like it should be an easy game, but you look at who they played and you know they're going to bring it.
Well, when you're 1-3, you don't look past anybody. So, I mean, and I told the kids this at practice this week. I said, I don't care what the record is for Marion or what the record is for Mount Vernon. One team's up, one team's down, whatever. You go back and look at the scores over the last several years, you'll find close ball games. I mean, we played them a few years ago I think they were 1-3 a few years ago. And looking at who they played was deceiving because they played a really good schedule that year, just like this year's team. And the game was tooth and nail. In fact, we won it here late on a David Acree play at the goal line at that far end of the end zone, the west end zone. And that's a game on paper, right? We might have been 3-1 at the time. It looked like 3-1 versus 1-3 ought to be an easy game. It was not an easy game. So trust me, we have a motto, not who you play, but how you play. And we're not going to look past them. We're making a lot of preparations, taking this game as serious as we did last week's Cahokia game.
And I think the opportunity is there. I think one of the things that is if they get behind early, they tend to stumble a little bit. I think your team would relish the opportunity to be in that position where you put a team down early and maybe you can put the gas pedal down and take care of it early.
I hope so. I hope we can have a night like that where we can get out and be successful early and get more than a touchdown lead, because
you haven't had that all year.
It has been every game has been get the lead, lose the lead, take it back. I mean, it has been back and forth in every ball game, matching scores of people. Love to get out in front of somebody and stay out in front and stretch that lead. But, you know, the focus needs to continue to be on ourselves and getting better. We still have so much room for improvement. I just feel like we got to really stay focused on that.
One of the things I want to talk about, because this is a football game, it's a conference game, all those things are important. But as evidenced by the shirt you're wearing, it's
Right.
also the pink out game. And there wasn't a pink out game last year, and part of the reason is that one of the people who was a big cog in the whole pink out organization was lost to cancer last year, and that's the athletic director, Mike Shornack. So to be able to return to the pink out game and raise awareness for cancer and just, you know, put that at the forefront and let people know that there's more than just football out there, I think is important.
I do too. You know, it's you just can't find anyone that's been unaffected by cancer. And you know, I lost a childhood friend at age 12 to leukemia, and lost my father and my grandfather to cancer, and any number of friends like Mike Shornack and others that I've lost, like my father-in-law. I mean, it's one of those things that you talk to anyone and you'll find an extended family member or close family member that was affected by it, or friend, and it's awesome to be able to give back, to honor people who have survived or suffered from it or perished from it, or if nothing else, just bring awareness and raise some money and be able to help someone who's currently dealing with that situation, help a family financially cope with it. That's a stress that you hope you can maybe ease their pain a little bit. And I love the Pink Out Night. I think it's I love any opportunity, Patriot game, Pink Out Night, where we can take a little off the football importance of it and let the kids be reminded that there's other things that matter, other things that are more important than a football game. And let's use football in its proper context and maybe bring awareness to something new.
And isn't it awesome too that, I mean, because of the situation, because there's the opportunity for the public to purchase jerseys to honor people who have been affected by cancer, so you bring out more kids to put them on the sideline. What a great way for your first experience on a varsity sideline as a football player to be involved in an event like a Pink Out game.
Yeah, it's going to be exciting, you know, and a lot of those freshman kids that don't dress, or whoever else is involved, gets to wear a jersey. And, you know, that jersey is somebody's number one. That's our motto, you know. It's not the numeral number one, but just that is somebody's number one. You're wearing the jersey, that is someone's father or son or daughter or grandparent. And in somebody's life in that stand tonight, that is somebody really special. And you're wearing that jersey in honor of that life. And just wearing that jersey with that name on the back brings memories to those people of time they spent with that person, and memories shared and experiences. And it's a big deal, you know. When I looked out on the field and saw my father's name on the back of the jersey, and that pregame was tough. And I was honored to be a part of it.
Yeah.
But just to see my dad's name on the field, I think Jawan Tucker wore it that year. It was a cool moment. So I hope people come out and get to watch the game and enjoy hopefully a Marion win, but more than that, just experience something beyond the game a little bit.
Now, every year that the Pink Out's been done, there have been one or more individuals who have benefited from funds raised from the event. Do you know who those people are this year?
I don't know the full slate of people that are getting.
It gets bigger
funds.
every year, doesn't
and
it?
I think there's been some last minute adjustments to that, so I won't say all the names. I'm afraid I will leave somebody out, but it is nice to be able to help a family or multiple families. But we have a little board set up that kind of manages the process of this game and some of the things we do. And we put a cap on how much each family can get, and we try to do it for people that are work in our district or as a staff or faculty member who are impacted with cancer. And it's just a cool way to give back through the game of football, whether it's the canned food game, the Patriot game, the Pink Out. I love, you and I make fun of the themed game. We have a lot of themed games around here, but we're the themed game champions. But heck, when you think about it, isn't that a cool way to honor a certain group on a given night? And it's just great. You know, it's instead of just playing games, we're able to bring people into our football family and show some respect and maybe some honor that they deserve.
I'll let you decide if you want to spoil the surprise or if it's a surprise. I know in years past it's been navy jerseys with pink numbers, pink jerseys with navy numbers. You want to say that or you want to wait till they get here?
I'll wait.
Okay.
Okay.
All right, sounds good. It's the pink out game. Friday night, Marion playing Mount Vernon. Kickoff is at 7 o'clock here at Wildcat Stadium, and we look forward to seeing you out here not only to come to the game, but wear your pink. Will there still be the pink out T-shirts available? Some of them?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay, so even if you don't have one, you may be able to get one at the game. Great opportunity for a great cause. This is Kerry Martin. He's the head coach of the Marion Wildcats. For Dateline Marion, I'm Tim Petrowich.